fine. Good morning. How you going, Jared? First in, best dressed. Just clean your cheeks there. There you go. There's so much halo around the bloody lights. How are we this morning? That's not my... Yeah. Oh boy. All right. So... Morning, William Burrell. How you doing? Now, got some tongs to make. It's important to have good tools, Jared. Hey, Lane. So we got some 12mm square, half-inch square. For you guys over in the States, I'm going to be making some pickup tongs. Different style of pickup tongs to the last set that I made. 12 mm. Hey, Stefan, how we going? Do I cut them to length now, or do I work them on the bar? Morning, Liam. Morning, Ed. Morning, Bob. How are we all? I think I'll work them on the bar. It's a very long bar, but... Morning, Brad. Not sure my rest comes out that far. Jeez. That'll work. Morning, Paul. Good to know, Donnie. Being on hold is always pain. I don't actually hate you, Stefan. It's just, you know, the challenge that you came up with is terrible, and I hate you. I don't actually hate you, but you know what I mean. How we going, Adam? Hey, Ed. Yeah, making a codex sheath. Nice. That's a bit of work. No, I still haven't got those handles, Jared. Everything's being held up by customs at the moment. Especially stuff from the harder hit nations like the US and Italy and stuff like that. Am I making tongs with the wrong hand? Hell no. I'm going to do a video doing the Forgecast challenge this week. I'm actually going to do that. But, yeah. Gel forged on the airport display, yeah, fair enough. Charcoal's good. Nothing wrong with charcoal. Yes, the US is a hard hit nation, that's true. What's a good steel to forge with as a beginner? Depends on what you're trying to make, mate, but I always advise people who are getting into smithing to start with mild steel. It's cheap, readily available. If you've got access to like scrappers, I believe what roast? I think this is Freedom Roast. Yeah, it's Freedom Roast. There you go. Yeah, so like mild steel, making like S hooks and stuff like that, it's a good way to go. If you've got access to like scrap yards and stuff like that, then rebar is good for a lot of things. If you're making knives, then you know leaf springs, coil springs, files, that kind of stuff is really good when you're getting started because you can normally get it for free. Basically, whatever you can get for free is a good thing to start on because you don't worry about losing mass amounts of it. And then as you get more controlled and more used to the process, then you can start using known steels like 1084 and 1095 for knives and that kind of stuff. So yeah, railroad spikes are also fun. Yeah, scrap mild steel is good. So unless you're making knives, mild steel is pretty much good for everything except tooling. But yeah, I mean, the tongs I'm making today are made out of 12mm mild steel. All the tongs that I make are out of mild steel, so I accept there'll be 2 pairs that I make in the future, in the near future, that'll be made out of spring steel. Yeah, I've got quite a collection building up. Is it 6 here? Oh, there's 6 here. Yeah, so I have my new collection of pretty tongs. Hey Lucas, how we going? Finished this set of railroad spike tongs yesterday. Came up pretty good. I like them. Yeah, you can make some tools out of mild. Set of bolt jaws, 10mm bolt jaws. Set of inch by 1/4 inch Bladesmith tongs. Set of round jaw pickup tongs, and I'm making another set of pickup tongs today, but a different style. Set of 12mm bolt jaws in a slightly different style to Roy's, and set of wolf jaws. This is where it all started. So this project as a whole is me trying to improve my tooling in the shop, and so yeah, that's why I'm making all these tongs. They're all for me. And the next stage to my process is going to be making a new 2 new forges, and that'll be this week. I'm going to be picking up the materials on Tuesday. Morning, Bobby. How you doing? Yeah, the railroad spikes are great. Hey, David, how you going? Hey, Matt. Yes, I've been very busy. I have been working on like commissions and stuff like that as well, but I've been trying to tool up at the same time. So yeah, this week I'll be making new forges, so you should see those in future videos. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on building them. I might. I might put out a community poll, see if anyone wants to see me build the forge. Make a set of tongs, Lucas. Hey, Jeremy and Kate. Yes, I am. Yes, I am a full-time smith. Yeah, I'm finally getting around to it, Adam. I've decided that I'm going to bite the bullet and actually actually build my new forge, because I'm getting sick of this thing. That's driving me nuts. So yeah, I'll be building. Well, I'm planning on building 3, but I'm going to build 2 to begin with. Make some horseshoe hearts for some Mother's Day tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good idea. And not even like horseshoe hearts. You can do it out of, like square or round. Just to make the heart. It's great. Nice. Would like to see a forge build. Yeah, okay. No worries. I'll definitely do that. So yeah, I've got the 2 forges that I'm going to build are basically the same forge except 2 different sizes. And then I'm going to build a 3rd forge, which is going to be 4. So how do I set the reins? I'm not sure what you mean, Donnie. Can you clarify the question? I might just be dumb. But yeah. Hopefully I'll get these tongs finished today. Or, okay, I have never finished a set of tongs in a live stream, so today is going to be the day where I finish a set of tongs in the live stream. Doesn't matter how long it takes. I've got to go find my earmuffs. Yeah. I do on occasion. Sometimes she says smart things. Alrighty. So. Yes, I will, Jared, I will. I'm actually planning on doing a very big Patreon. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll show you that when we get there. It's not that difficult. I'm planning on starting a new Patreon series just for patrons, just for my high list patrons. So I'm not sure whether I do it from the Journeyman tier or I do it from the Smith tier. So it'll depend. But yeah, what I'll basically be doing is doing an entire knife build from start to finish, showing every step in excruciating detail. And it'll be a multi-part series. I'll go into the planning, I'll go into the drawing, I'll go into the forging, I'll go into, like the beveling and all that kind of stuff, grinding, and I'll be talking about each exact step as I go through it. So that's going to be for my patrons, all my awesome patrons, because I want to give back to my patrons. They're all awesome people, so yeah, so I will be doing that over the next couple of weeks. That's my plan. Except I'll do the last bit. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Adam. Just made a knife to mild steel. You can't, in its current state. Yeah, you can't like harden mild steel in its current state. Although Jared from Veteran Ironworks, if you go on his Wooden Ironworks, if you go on his channel, he's got a couple of simple how to case harden videos, and if you case harden the knife, it'll work a little bit. Yeah, so Jared's got a series on case hardening. Go and check that out. It's really cool, really simple. No, you didn't miss the knife, the live, mate. It's just started. We're 12 minutes in. I haven't started yet. I'm being lazy. I'm talking to everyone. Keen to see my press in action. Unfortunately, today's not really a press jobby. You're welcome, Jared. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do that with mild steel. Green Beetle does it quite a bit with wrought iron. But yeah, Jared's got a much simpler method, and doesn't require a heat treat kiln. So anyway, what we're gonna do? It does the pre-forge wind up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like say hello and wake up because I've only been up for like an hour. So yeah, sorry, mate. Next week I will run the forge press. Promise. So we've got some 12mm square. The tongs I'm making aren't for heavy duty, they're for pickup. I actually call them fetch tongs because I make the reins 20 inches long. And they're designed for like going into like really hot forges and stuff like that where I want to get right in the back to get something. They're really good as pickup tongs and stuff like that as well, but yeah. I made a set ages ago and unfortunately I made the boss just a little bit too thin and it actually sheared off, so we'll be trying not to make the same mistake today. So we'll do the lighting of the forge ceremony. Very, very, very traditional, official lighting of the forge ceremony. Yeah, fetching from the bottom of my quench tank is one of the things I use. So I do have that video on how I built, so on the build forge right. If you go to my channel, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there is a video of going around and showing you all the different parts. So if you want to have a look at it that way, you can do that. The reason I just ran it is because I'd left the piston down last night, which is a boo-boo. Don't do that. So when you're storing your press, like when you're not using your press, files are great to make knives with, mate. I have an entire series on beginner knife making, so if you want to take a look at that. Hey, Paul! So, when you're storing your press, this section of the piston, although covered in grease sometimes and stuff like that, it can rust. And so, if you leave it down while you're, you know, like overnight and stuff like that, then it can potentially build rust up. So I always store mine in the vertical position so that it's completely sealed off, so I don't get any rust on my press, or at least on the working parts of my press. Hey Ronnie, going good, man. If you use round stock for tongs, so if you're using round stock for tongs, it needs to be fairly well oversized for brains or anything like that. So you're going to have to draw it out, and as you draw it out, it's better to draw it out in square than in round. I might do a video on making tongs out of round stock at some point. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, it's you know, yeah, it's good. It's good press. I like it. It's been a lifesaver. How's it going, Olivia? Alright. Bars of steel is always painful. So basically we're going to be rounding up the reins. Oh, the old bus is steady. So I'm just taking it from square to round. We're going to forge like 20 inches of length into round stock, and then we'll cut it off and make jaws. Yeah, you made it before the sweat. That's it. It's nice and cool today, which is good. It's a nice change. I think it's going to get up to 19 degrees today. First time we've been under 20 in a while. Still waking up, still stiff. First few swings are always the hardest. I have another project to take. I'm hoping I won't need it, but you never know. as we work up the bar, it's going to get a bit easier for me to work because at the moment I've got about 4 foot of material hanging off the back of my hand. 85 degrees. I don't know what that is in metric. It's like 26 or 27. Yeah. Nearly 30. It is. That is correct. Hey, Benny. Thank you. A lot of New South Wales boys in the house. Still no scrolling tongues. That's next week. Next week's live stream is scrolling tongues. Promise. You'll definitely see me sweat that one. Would be like 30-ish. Well, fantastic. Oh, fair enough. Oh, cool. Central. That'll be fun. Good morning, Holla. We had that. I'm done with summer now. We're in the strong jaws of autumn and soon to move into winter, and I'm loving it. Morning, Marty. That's how I read your name. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Affected by the fires. So the big fires that everyone heard about were over in the eastern states. I'm in Western Australia, but we did have fires here as well. We always do every fire season. That's why we call it fire season. Luckily, we were not affected. Yep, you're on the exact opposite side of the Earth. You're also around the same latitude north as we are south. About the exact opposite temperature. Is fine. So, pretty sure this is 20. Yep, 20. So that's the 20 mil round bar, and there's the Tongs blank. Forged on the 20 mil round. You can keep it quite beefy. This is the rough blank. I would actually refine this as we go, but this was basically just a demo piece for someone. Oh, that's right. This was when I was pissed off and I wanted to hit something hard. So, yeah, that's a tong length on the end of 20 mil round, and then you draw the reins out from there. The process I'm doing is called rough rounding. Because I'm not aiming for perfectly round, I just want it roughly round. So I'm only taking it octagon and then I'm just spinning it round, which leaves a lot more facets than if you took it to 16 faces and then rounded it. But I have to care. A little bit more. Cut it off the jaw. And actually, here's a tong half from the old set that I had. This is the set that didn't, but this is the side that didn't break. So you can see that that's the jaw type we're going for. Long snout, small round. I believe this was forged out of 10 mil. Might have been forged out of 12. Yeah, no, it's 12 mil. So this is what we're going for today. Some people harden their tongs. Most people don't harden their tongs. Actually don't know of too many people who harden their tongs. I know people who make tongs out of hardenable material. Like I make my scrolling tongs out of 5160 sub 9, leaf spring, cold spring, whatever you want to call it. And the reason for that is even in its annealed state, it's still stronger than mild steel. So I leave my scrolling tongs annealed, so they're not hardened at all. But even with that, the spring steel in its annealed state is way stronger than mild steel. So when you're putting a lot of twisting strength on the boss, with a mild steel set of scrolling tongs, what ends up happening is that you end up getting the jaws twisting out from each other. So you want something that's going to resist that twisting stress. Okay, so that's a rein thrown out, roughly the right length. Just double check. I want it anywhere from 18 to 20 inches. Yeah. Perfect. 20 inches on the nose. So I'm just transitioning from the round into octagon. Alright, now we're going to take about 3 inches of material and cut it off. The camera slipped. Sorry guys. Where to get a decent heavy anvil? Well, there's a lot of places. Depends, like, you don't need 100 kilo anvil. Like, there are a lot of guys out there who use 100 kilo anvils, but you don't need one. Like, well, that's a good thing, Matt. That's a good thing. But yeah, you don't need a super heavy anvil. Like this is only a 40 kilo anvil, and I do all of my work on that. You can get away with a relatively small anvil for most work. Yeah, I mean there are anvils for sale all over the place, and you know you can get them anywhere from $500 to $3 grand, depending on what you want. Like you could buy a Beamish 120 kilo anvil for like 2,800, I think, shipped. So you know, like that's my dream anvil. But you know, you don't need a super huge anvil. It depends on what you're making. Realistically, a solo maker. Yeah, a solo maker that's not making like hammers and stuff like that, and even if you're making hammers, you shouldn't be using a sway plug. You shouldn't need more than a 50 kilo anvil. If you're doing a lot of striker work, or if you're doing a lot of like heavy work and stuff like that, then having a heavier anvil. 5 kilo anvil for a minute. But yeah, well, I mean that works. I know Bunnings sold those cheap shit, Harbor Freight, whatever they are, things. I'm going to select about 3 inches. I'll probably measure it, but I'm not going to. Because I'm brave or stupid. There's one tong half ready for forging. Now we're going to round out the other side. Morning, Alan. I need to fix my camera mount. Forgive me for a second. Yeah, 3-pound hammer and 15 kilo anvil will work. Well, it's going well as can be expected, Alan. Yeah, I mean, you can. Harbor freight anvils aren't that bad. Like my striking anvil, the anvil that I worked on for 5 years was a Harbor freight style anvil, a cast iron piece of crap. But realistically, you've got to remember that there are guys out there, there are like the Kami in Nepal, who forge on, like a 10-pound sledgehammer head. That's all they use for an anvil. Like something this size mounted into a stump is enough anvil for a lot of work. Like that's about the size of a standard Viking style anvil from that age. So you don't need a gigantic anvil. It's all about how you mount it. Like a lot of things. Hey, Ben. The technique is inside. Exactly. In my beginner blacksmith series, I forged on something this size. This tiny little baby railroad track anvil. So realistically, you can forge on anything. Joey Vandersteeg actually did a really good video on forging on a piece of leaf spring, like a block, like a square of leaf spring about that big, that he just bolted down to a stump on the edge of a stump, so that he could use it as an anvil face, and that worked perfectly. Yeah, that was really cool. I love that little anvil. Mounting it to something dense is important. That's impressive, Ben. Yeah, so I think it's going to be Journeyman Smith tier and above in my Patreon. They're going to have access to the full however many part series on making a knife. Well, that's the way to go. I think you're an apprentice tier, Ed. Yeah, I think you're on the apprentice tier. Slowly running out of gas. I got two more full bottles. So I'm going to be, so it'll be for Journeyman tier, which is $10 tier. Okay, so the tiers on my Patreon page are named after like levels of Smith. It's just kind of a joke thing, but I've got the Bellow Pumper tier, which is $1 a month. Then I've got Apprentice tier, which is $5 a month. Then I have Journeyman tier, which is $10 a month. Smith tier, which is $25 a month. Master Smith tier, which is $50 a month. And then I have the Jared Russell tier. I have two more gas bottles. Yeah. Yeah, Jared. legend tier. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, not wrong. Hey, Aaron. So the way that Patreon tiers are constructed is that the more that you invest per month, the more access to, you know, behind the scenes stuff you get. So my higher tiers just get like access to different stuff that other people don't. And I couldn't do this in-depth series on knife making for free. It's going to take a lot of time because I'm going to have to explain every step and I'm going to have to go through a lot of processes and stuff. And I don't make enough on AdSense that's going to be worth it. Whereas my patrons are spectacularly generous, and given that I've had a really hard time mentally speaking recently, I haven't really been giving back to them as much as I want to. So this is going to be me giving back to those higher tiers. A lot of whom have been with me for months. Like for over 6 months. I recently just got a new master tier patron, Ben, who is awesome. It's amazing. I've actually got to get his address so that I can send him the bottle opener. But yeah, so if you want to support me on Patreon, the links are in the description down below. And you get access to stuff like an in-depth how to make a knife video series. It's going to be ridiculously in-depth. Like, I'm planning on taking you through every split second of it. Yeah, Alan, it's not doing too good for mine either. Find the ruler. Match up the end. Yeah, I'm going to call that good. Okay, cool. So. Out. Right. Down. One of the good things about having an anvil with relatively sharp edges is you can mark using the anvil. I think I'll just have enough gas to get this cut, and then I'll change bottles. Yeah, it's insanely cheap. Like it's not that expensive. Cool, Brandon. Normally rods from hydraulic cylinders are like 4140. 1045, somewhere around there, and can be really good for hammers, drifts, punches. Alex never sent me that chunk of flint that he said he was going to. I I think he decided he wanted to keep it. Oops, uh-oh. No, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry guys, hit the wrong button. I'm still here. Alright. Let's clip this off. I'm actually going to spin the camera because my mount is being all dicky. Okay, so now we've got our two tone halves. They're a matching length, and they've been rounded out. Now we're going to forge the jaws. Oh, right on my foot. It's all Bob's fault. Bob's hammer hit me in the foot, so therefore it's Bob's fault. I'm going to take 2 inches of material from each. About 2 inches, yeah. That'll do it. Go to the back of the cut. Okay, that one's marked. All right. Back of the cut. Okay. Oops. My shoulder. That's good. Trade out bottles. This one's icy. The bloody regulator's freezing over. See you, Donnie. All good, Stefan. Hey, SNS, how you going, mate? I have steel-toed shoes on. It fell on my foot behind the steel cap. Alex hasn't messaged me. I think that was Patreon. What the hell, Brandon? I'm making a set of fetch tongs, or they're modified pickup tongs, basically. So apparently I just picked up another Bladesmith tier Bladesmith tier patron, Brandon. Thank you. You're still watching, buddy? This big wide diagonal for drawing out. That's drawing out rings. Yeah, where we're going. Morley, no, I'm down in Medina. Thanks, Brandon. Hopefully it'll be worth it. Now, something I tell all of my patrons, you don't get access to a lot of the stuff that I do until your first payment comes through at the first of next month. Because Patreon's really weird. Yeah, I might do a build along at some point. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this instructional first, and I mean, you could build along with it, like if you want to. This first one's gonna be a full tang hunter. little bit more. I basically wanted to get it to 4 inches. Might have to settle for 3. There. Still got a bit of meat in here that I can get rid of. Teasing me. Almost there. Working up on it. Here we go. Right 4 inches. Nice even taper. What you want. Now we can set that boss. We're on our way. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat at the moment, guys. I'll be there in a minute. Set that boss. Set it right there. For a right-handed person, once you come off the shoulder, you want to turn it left, 45 degrees out. That's a terrible hit. Now the boss is quite narrow on these because the material is so narrow. So you want to leave it relatively thick at that junction. It's about as far as I take it. Not very far at all. That clearance you need. Nice transition there. And now what I'm going to do is offset on the same side. I'm going to come back here about there and offset there. And that's going to give me my boss. out. About there. Shift it back just a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to knock that down. For some reason I got it twisted. That happens. Again, you want that clearance. Get up around the corner. Give me that faster clearance. Top jaw. That's as thick as I want it. I'm going to come here. I don't really need to measure this. Just make a mark. That's going to be off. Sorry, the heats are coming hard and fast at the moment. Sorry if I'm boring, Will. I've never made anything from a shoemaker's handle. Hey, Randy. Funky Cold Medina. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing your review, Brandon. Love you too, Randy. All right. Woo. So, got that second set down. Knock it in a little bit more. I want to match the thickness of the first box. And then I'm going to, this is where having an angle block would be great. I might actually run Preston for a second. There is something I can do with Preston to help me. The many advantages of having a press. Yeah, I'm going to run Preston. I'm going to get my set hammer in there. Again, I'm going to round the transition. Mostly for my own benefit. It's easy. And that's ready to go to Preston and press. Set hammer. I'll take you over to Preston. So this is going to be a little finicky, and it's not exactly safe, so do what I say, not what I do. get that angle in. There we go. Second one. That angle in. Remember, always store your piston in the upright position. Woo! All right. I'm going to quench these handles off to get a bit warm. Before we finish up the bosses, I'm going to turn the tips, and then we'll go finish the bosses out, drill them, and get them riveted together. Hey, Joel. I was still asleep during Roy's live stream, so sadly I missed it. Thanks for all coming to my stream. I really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying it. Okay, so I'm going to select about an inch and a bit, inch and an eighth. And I want to make it 90, like a hard 90. It's not going to have a hard corner on it because I didn't leave a lot of material. There you go. About a hard 90. And that's going to then get curled into the nib. That tip basically in line with the jaws. That's pretty good. bend this down and take it back up again. So, knock that over a little bit so that it's good. Straighten up the boss area, as to do. What we're going to do is come over the edge of the horn, knock it that way, and that's pretty much it. Like that's literally all that's needed. Might need to straighten this up a little bit, but that's going to mean that they're going to be offline from each other. That one's ready to be drilled. Same story with this one, just like that. Should only take 1 or 2 hits to get it. Basically want to turn it into a parallelogram. That's perfect. Love it. Okay. Love to see it. Love to see it. Alright, click. Ready to drill. So that I can give my ears a break. Sweating buckets. Hey, Ignis. Go ahead, Randy. I'm fine with that. Yes, all sailing vessels had a forge and an anvil. Pretty hard to skin a house. Although I might have the knife that can do it. Oh. Yeah, parallelogram. That's it. So the jaws are in line with the line of the handles. And as you can see, they're almost identical. So now we're just going to pop a 6 mil hole, 1/4 inch hole, for our rivet. And I'll just train the camera on the drill, shall I? You guys know what drilling looks like, but for your entertainment, I've made the switch to using only cobalt drill bits, pretty much. I'm slowly building up a collection, because these things will cut through most stuff. Like, for hardened steel, I still want to use tungsten carbide, but basically all of my other drilling is now done with cobalt. And no, I didn't set a bunch of these. I'm going by eye, which isn't the smartest way to do things, but I need a drill press. Okay, so that one's there. Means that one is okay, yep, about there. Come on. I need a new drill press. Yeah. All right. Now I'm just going to quickly take these to the grinder just to. So all I did there was I took these two here, and you can see, because I couldn't fit anything on the anvil to hit this area, and there was a sharp corner there, I've just rounded that out so that they manipulate a little bit easier, because otherwise they'd bind on each other. And I also took the corners off on everything. I don't like hard edges on a lot of my work, so that's what I did. Now we need 6mm rivet stock. Just a little piece of 6mm. And I've got it down to a fine art. I know exactly how long a rivet I need. 28mm. And the trick to that is to take measurement. So the thickness, the two thicknesses of your boss. Actually, this will be a bit different. For 6mm thick bosses, these are 7. So that's 14 rather than 12. So that's 2 extra millimeters, which is 30 rather than 28. Because you want the thickness as your boss. So whatever the two bosses together is thickness, and then 1.5 times the diameter of your pin stock. So for 6mm, that is 9 millimeters. And that gives me about a measurement of 30. I have this little 10mm whole piece of steel. It's 9mm deep. That's going to shouldn't do that without glasses, but what do I know? Oh, did someone super chat? I see clapping. I see clapping. Let me check. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to show things and. Again, you're a legend, mate. Yeah, Holla. Sorry. I'm definitely. I'm wearing safety glasses for sure. Okay, so we have our two tong halves. We have our 9mm deep spacer, and we have our 6mm rivet stock. And it's so much easier at this stage to rivet them cold, do the Mark Asprey thing. Don't hit it hard at this stage because all you'll do is bend it. But if you tap around the corners, it flares out the material, and that means that it won't come out through the hole. So, and then that's why we've got a 10mm rather than a 6mm. You don't want to use for your bolster stock. Yeah, so now it's flared. You can't get them apart, and it'll hold them in place. But for your bolster stock, you don't want to use the same size of hole as your rivet. A, because when you flare it, it'll won't go in the hole. B, because when you go to upset hot, it will actually upset into this, and you'll have a bad time. Okay, firing the forge. Jeez, Brandon, that's terrible. Yeah, 10mm rivets is fine. Hey Ben, you're a little late, wait for that, just a bit. So the other side of the rivet's been kept cool by the tong halves. Need to just find the hole. There we go. Hold the tongs down and rivet. So there's one half, and now we'll flip it over and I can rivet this side. And you want to keep pressure on the top rein to keep them together, because if they split apart, the rivet will upset between the two, and you'll get a really weird looking pair of tongs. Don't need this anymore though. That's only for that first set. And you don't want the rivet blistering hot, you only want it a dull red. The nibs are so thin, I can literally hold the things apart with my fingers and tap the jaws closed. With thicker tongs, you don't want to do that because that'll slam the handles shut on your fingers. Ask me how I know. Now what I'm going to do is going to quickly grind the nibs flat so that they'll come together flat. They're relatively flat across the top. I'm just going to knock them together a bit more. happy with how the nibs look, which I'm not, find a piece of round stock that's about the right size. That's too big, yeah. And you can screw them up using that nib stock. Using the round stock as I could always draw it up and file later. Now the reins are slightly crossed over. They're a little too far crossed over. So what I'm going to do is stick it in the vise and just pry them apart. Again, doesn't need to be super hot. I don't want to clamp the rivet, I want to clamp the thong reins. And I'm just going to pry them apart ever so slightly. There we go. Those are a pair of pickup tongs. The reins are ridiculously oversized for it, but I don't particularly care. And this is for picking up bigger items than what these are for. Like these are for small items, these are for larger items. So I can get them wider apart. Alright, now I just need to put my mark on. It'll wait until next month, Ed. Hey, Monica. Yeah, Kofi, Ko-Fi, yeah. Again, the link is in the description. Ko-Fi is a donation platform, so if you want to, they're just there for your use. Right. So, this is always the bit where I get burned, so let's hope that doesn't happen. Historically speaking, that's hot. Right, fine. I need to make a freaking set of tongs. Need to make a set of tongs. Ow, that's hot. Jeez. Please. That's hot. This is terrible. That'll work. There's the water brush. all down to a black heat. Just got my leg. Just got my leg. Just wait for him to get down to a black heat. And then we can start brassing these guys. This is actually some of the most effort-intensive bits of doing these, is the brassing. Still a little bit too hot in the jaws, in the bosses, I should say. You can tell because it turns purple right there. Because brass oxidizes black when heated. Tighten those jaws up a little bit. There we go. Nice and tight. Really gets your arms working. That'll do. I don't want it perfectly gold. It's gonna wear off pretty quick anyway. There you are. Set of fetch tongs, as I call them. Otherwise known as power hammer, pickup tongs, etc., etc., etc. Whew, there you go. Hey Curtis. Yeah, that's the plan, Jared. I could, Matt, and that is a way to do it. I prefer to just no, next week scrolling tongs. I'm planning on doing a video on that, Curtis. Very soon. Okay, so a couple things I'll do after it's cooled down. The handle's just a little bit out of length. I'll grind those to length. But I kept the bosses nice and thick, so even though they're quite narrow, they're not going anywhere. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Give them a bit of a working. And then I can come over here while they're cooling. If you're going to brush them, you don't want to quench them in oil before. And you don't want to do it while they're still pretty dang hot, otherwise you'll just blacken the brass. You'll just blacken over the brass. So that's oil quenched. Just gonna get a rag and wipe off the excess. Darkens the brass a bit when you oil quench them, but that's alright. Like I said, it'll wear off eventually. This is mostly for me, just screw it around, make it pretty. There you go. Nice set of pickup tongs. And that goes together with my other set of pickup tongs. And my 2 sets of bolt jaw tongs, which this is all getting really hard to pile on my hand. And my Bladesmith tongs. And my railroad spike tongs. And the set that started it all, wolf jaw tongs. Ha! Ta-da! Whew. Boy, that was a lot of work. 1 hour, 45 minutes. That's not too bad. That's why I picked this set to finish in a live stream, because it doesn't require as much work. Hey Paul, they are pickup tongs. How long does it take me to make a pair of flat bar tongs? Depends. If I'm making a rough set, like a set that's gonna, like, just that does the job, I can make a set in like 30, 45 minutes. If I'm making a nice set, like the sets that I've made here, they take me up to about 3 hours. New punches and drifts, yeah, that is also on the plans. Hi James. I didn't do a video on the railroad spike tongs, no. I basically copied Roy's video on the railroad spike tongs, like they're his design. Yeah, so these railroad spike tongs are Roy's design. You can look them up on his YouTube channel. They're forged out of 1 by 1/4 inch, just like his. And they work really well. I really like them. Whew, phone's going off. We need achievement stickers. Yeah, so talking about stickers, I have stickers on Preston. I've got, not sure if you'll be able to see it there, I've got my Creative Man sticker on this side, right there. And then, I'm not sure if I'm going to lose you guys, but I've got Yamez, Dogbone, B&B Forge. Still more space there, guys, so if you want to have one of your stickers, and of course, the one that you guys always see, Brothers in Iron, in Ignis Veritas, in Ferro Vitae. So, yeah. If you want your sticker to be featured on Preston, then please let me know. And I will, you send them to me. Well, your sticker's already on there, Bob. Bob makes a great hammer too. I'm not associated with the BAAWA yet. Maybe I will be. Maybe. Don't know yet. Awesome, Ignis. Yeah, it's a good sticker. I like it. But no, I am working on knives as well. I've got this recurve fighter that I'm working on for a commission. It's coming out pretty cool. It's even got my mark on it right there. And the integral hunter that I forged out on the live stream, that's coming along. It's all been ground out, ready for hand sanding and handling. So those are on the go. I am working on a video. I am working on a video for YouTube that'll come out in the next week or so. I've got a bunch of videos I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing the Forgecast Challenge, which this month is forging something with your cat hand, with your offhand, left-handed. I did a practice piece the other day, and I suck just as much as I remember. So that'll be fun. No Bound Knives sticker. He hasn't. Does he have stickers? If he does, he should send me one. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, for those of you who didn't join the stream earlier in the stream, I did announce that I will be doing a full multi-part series on knife making, going very in-depth into knife making for all of my patrons in the Journeyman tier or above. So that's $10 or above on my Patreon, and it'll be making a full tang hunter. I'm actually kind of considering doing one like this. I might draw up a couple designs and actually poll my patrons So, yeah, I'll probably poll my patrons. I'll do a couple of designs and see which one you guys want to see me build, and then I will be going through all of the processes. So from design to material choice, all that kind of stuff is all going to be in there, and it's going to be epic. It's my way of giving back to the Patreon community that has supported me through so many hard times. Recently, without them, I wouldn't have been able to get home from Queensland. So I greatly appreciate them, and in order to give back to them and appreciate my new patrons, because I'm getting new patrons every day, which is fantastic, I'm doing this for them. So if you're interested in seeing a very, very in-depth, it's going to be very long, it's going to be very deep discussion on knife making, then join that. You're too young? Says who? I know 13-year-olds who are patrons of people. Scan do a fair bit, Sykes. Yeah, no, I'm thinking I'm going to start with something relatively simple. I'm going to do a full tank hunter. It'll just be variations thereof. So, but there may be more builds in the future. I plan on doing more builds in the future. I want to do a dagger build. I want to do some forge welding and stuff like that for future Patreon deep dive stuff. So there's that. And there's already content on Patreon that you guys can have access to right now if you join. I've got deep dives on metallurgy, on heat treating, some background stuff that's going on in my personal life, all that kind of stuff. You have access to everything that comes from me on my Patreon. So I've forged several hidden tang knives on live stream, but I can do that in another live stream at some point. So technically, yes, Curtis. So because I haven't even started the series yet, I'm going to be doing it as I'm going to be uploading as I do it. So unfortunately, there's no way I can make it super fair. Double bevels, yeah, they're always fun. It's difficult to make it super fair for everyone because we've got like the patrons that have been there forever will be getting the content as it comes, and so like if they want to see the whole build, they'll probably have to be they'll have to be a patron for several months in order to have access to it. Whereas someone could come in at the end of the build and just be a patron for 1 month and have access to all the videos. So it's difficult for me trying to work out how to make it super fair, but that's it's a constant struggle. Let's just say that it's a constant struggle. I am planning on making a Patreon only Instagram page where I'll be uploading. I think you can pay through PayPal, Joel, PayPal or credit card or stuff like that. Well, that's kind of what this course will be. This Patreon series is going to be. It's going to be a Kyle Royer style, in-depth, multi-part series. It's just that it won't be as well shot because I don't have Josh to do all my shooting for me. I did do a camp chopper on a live stream. This one, which has the little squirrel tail, which I really like. I'm going to finish this at some point. Did that on a live stream a while back. So there's that. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. But yeah, so if you want to join my Patreon crew, and then go ahead. The links have been posted by Jared, and they're also down in the description below. If you want to donate to me just on a one-time thing, without having to go through all the rigmarole, there's Ko-Fi. This is ko-fi. If you see the link down there, you can also donate to me through there. I don't take direct PayPal donations at the moment, but I possibly could. My PayPal is skywolf.towns@gmail.com, so there's that. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic week, and I have got more videos coming this week for all of you, including my patrons. Stay tuned. Thank you so much. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. See you guys. Yeah.